21st Platoon. Hard drop. Secure our landing zone.
Understood.
Over the target in 5.
Hang on to your helmet.
Welcome back, recruits, from ODST to Helldiver. In this video, we are going to cover the loadout of any given Helldiver.
Repeat, Helldivers to Hellpods.
Yes, Helldivers to Hellpods. So, as you may well know, once you have a mission selected and you enter a Hellpod, you are going to see a pretty familiar screen. After selecting a place to land, you will see this menu right here. And by hitting the X button, we can toggle between this menu with our equipment that is the armor, primary weapon, secondary weapon, and throwable. These 4 slots here all count as part of your loadout. They are choices that affect your gameplay while you're in your mission. And the other menu is for stratagems plus your booster. So we have 5 different options here, and really 4 options here. And I say 4 options because here in the helmets tab you can see there is no distinction between armor, speed, and stamina for any of the helmets. They are purely cosmetic. And the same thing is true for the capes. They are 100% cosmetic and do not provide different stat bonuses. So, when you are entering a mission, you have really 9 choices that make up your entire loadout, and you can select all those options from this menu right before jumping into a mission. I would say the first and most important decision to make is your armor. Now when you guys first get in here, you will probably only have 1 armor unlocked at all. It's going to be the first medium armor right here, the Steel Trooper, I'm pretty sure, or the DP-00 Tactical. I forget which one of these is the starting armor. It's probably this one. But you can unlock more through war bonds or the store. But just keep in mind there are 3 types of armor: light, medium, and heavy armor. Depending on the enemies that I fight, I change up if I'm going to do light, medium, or heavy. And then from that decision, after I've decided on what type of armor, I usually start looking for the passive that I would like for the mission. Now, to complete a loadout, and to really feel like you chose a loadout that is thematically appropriate and very synergistic, if I was wanting to do a flamethrower build, for instance, I would pick some kind of armor that has a inflammable armor passive. Now, I am not going to cover each and every different armor in this video. I will have a video coming out soon that specifically covers armors and armor passives. But I just wanted you guys to be aware, part of your loadout fundamentally should probably start with the idea of what you want to do, find the armor that best suits that first, and then build from there. Next up, you have a primary weapon. And again, I'm not going to dive into these too much. I will have a video coming out shortly that covers all of these different weapons and kind of gives you a breakdown of what they do. For the time being, I'm just going to lightly touch on the fact that these weapons all have different traits. You'll notice light armor, medium armor pin, stun rounds, yada yada yada. They all have different things, and they come in different types. So here, the first part is the assault rifle. Next section, you have marksman rifles. These are more of your long range, pick a target, take them out kind of rifles. Then you have the submachine guns, or SMGs. In general, all of these are going to be light armor pin and one-handed. That's their kind of trait they all share, except for the Reprimand, which is an SMG that has medium armor pin and is two-handed. The difference is these can be wielded with a shield, and it all works out. This one cannot. So he's kind of the oddball out. Next section we have shotguns, and they vary pretty interestingly. You notice that both this and this one have incendiary rounds. Some of these have rounds reload, and some do not. That means these will swap out ammo just like a regular weapon, while these will reload individual bullets and not waste any. Next section we have explosives. Currently in the game, I think there's only these two. And then the next section we have energy based, which has plasma explosive, plus electrical and lasers, which are heat based, and an explosive here, and also an explosive here. So there are more explosive weapons as primaries in the game, but they are classified as energy based. And then this last section is the special category. And these are just unique little weapons, including a flamethrower. And I feel like this is maybe an assault rifle, marksman rifle hybrid. I understand why it's a special. Anyways, these are the available primary weapons for you eventually if you unlock them all. The next, also this is a super important slot because this primary weapon is going to most likely be your panic button weapon. So in mission, if things get extremely hairy, you may have spawned in with your good support weapon, backpack item, all of that, that's fine. But if you are in the heat of it and you get swarmed and die, and your teammates call you in, you really need to consider what weapon you're going to have when you spawn in with nothing available and have to survive on your own. This primary weapon does need to be something you can generally use so that you can get around and go find anything you dropped along the way. Your secondary weapon can range from pistols, melee weapons, and specialty weapons. And the specialty weapons can be stem pistols, a shotgun with very limited ammo, a miniature flamethrower, laser guns, a grenade pistol, and a miniature nuke launcher, which is pretty interesting. The GP20 Ultimatum is one of my favorite guns in the game, bar none. Very versatile, very good. And then the last slot here on this page is your throwables. And again, I'm going to make a video covering the primary weapon, secondary weapon, and throwables in depth. One video for each of them. I'm just giving you a quick overview of the throwables right now. Standard throwables have several options, and then there are special throwables, which vary quite a bit. Thermite's pretty good. I mean, these are all really good. They all have their uses, for sure. I do think the throwing knife is maybe the most underrated of all the throwables. They are silent and they can one-shot some enemies, especially if you get a headshot on them. So if you're trying to go stealthy, this could be a decent option to not give away your position. Okay. Now we're going to move on to the other slots here. So you may have seen from the previous couple videos, maybe I touched up on some boosters in the past. I will make a video dedicated solely to boosters. These are some of the availables. I think there are 2 more boosters that I don't have unlocked right now, but do keep in mind you can select a booster and it will affect your entire team. So each person in the team should try their best to coordinate and get whatever boosters you all can. It's very likely at the beginning that you will not start with a booster, and if you are a low-level player on low-level missions, generally everyone tends to get this as the first one and this is the second one, so you could encounter a lot of missions where other players have taken up the booster slot and you can't pick anything because they picked something that you have and you don't have anything else. That does happen from time to time, don't worry about it. As you progress further in the game, you will eventually get access to more boosters. Try to lock in the boosters if you can, please don't forget about them. I know a lot of people do at the very beginning of the game, don't even know that they have boosters. Just going to highlight that right now. It can drastically affect the squad. Okay, now we are going to talk about stratagems, which is maybe even the biggest section of this video, because the stratagems come in 3 different types. We have the offensive type, we have the supply type, which includes support weapons, backpack slots, and vehicles. And then we have the defensive section, which has several turrets and emplacements and mines. So I will have a video covering each of these different types of stratagems. I even think I'm going to break these videos up because there is a big difference between these orbital ones right here and the eagle ones. Okay, the eagle, as you can see, have a number of uses and a very small cooldown time. That's because you can call an eagle airstrike in within 7 seconds of each other 3 times. After you've used it 3 times, the eagle has to go back to the ship that we're currently on to reload all of the whatever you just used. Once it has to go back to reload, all of the other eagles are no longer available for you. So it doesn't make a lot of sense to have 2 of these if once you use one, it has to go recharge and the other is completely offline in the time being. So just keep that in mind about these eagle airstrikes. They are slightly different from these. These are usually bigger kinds of ordnances and have a much longer cooldown time. So some of these come back in 60 seconds, whereas some of them come back in 4.5 minutes almost. And this is limited to only 3 uses per game before it can no longer be used. The other ones are unlimited, so that kind of makes the orbital laser a little unique. In the supplies section, we do have different types as well, and I am going to have, I think, 4 different videos covering these different types actually. We have the support weapon standard that does not require a backpack slot in order to use. This is 16 of these items are included in that. And then we have the next 5 weapons here, all have the item trait of backpack. And so all 5 of these will take up both your support weapon slot in your loadout and your backpack slot. They are very powerful and a lot of fun to use, but just keep in mind you're giving up a backpack slot if you take one of these options. I still really like a lot of these. I really like the recoilless rifle, autocannon, airburst. I mean, they're all good. Every one of these is good, but if you want to use one of these other support stratagems, which is the next 16, are all backpack slot items, then you can't use these 5, at least not effectively. So these are the backpack items. There's 16 of them. I'll have a video covering in depth what each of these do, but they range from mobility, a portable nuke, a supply pack where you can reload people and yourself, shield generators and ballistic shields, turrets that you strap on your back. These are all backpack slots. They're all very, very good. I don't think any of them are any bad. They're all pretty good. The next section is the vehicles, and at the moment we only have 3 vehicles. We have the FRV, which you may have seen in a previous video about movement, and then you have basically the Mantis from Halo 4. These are giant emancipator exosuits and Patriot exosuit. They are mechs that one person pilots and have 2 types of guns on, one on each arm. This has 2 autocannons, this has a rocket launcher and a heavy machine gun. I will break that down in its own video. I'm going to have a video specifically covering vehicles. Next up, we have the defensive stratagems, and I'm going to have 2 videos on this. I'm going to break it up into turrets and emplacements in one video. So that includes all of these, including the mortar sentries. And then we have the emplacements, which is going to include a shield generator, which is pretty cool. It's like a bubble shield of sorts. A grenadier battlement that builds a wall. We have 2 turrets you can climb in and pilot to shoot. And then we have a Tesla tower, which is pretty much a turret. And then the next section are the mines, and I'm going to have a very special video about a build where you have 4 mines. They're pretty funny. They definitely will kill your teammates. They are definitely going to kill your enemies. So, viewer be warned. But these are the different options you can pick from. There's 3 different types: the offensive, the supply, and the defensive. I'll have videos covering each of these in depth. Don't you worry. And I think that's it for the loadout. Once you have picked your loadout and picked a booster, you are free to jump in the match. All you have to do is hit select to ready up. And once everyone is readied up, you will drop into the mission. That, dear recruits, is all I've got for you. I will see you guys next time. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this episode of From ODST to Helldiver. If you found any of the information in this video useful, please go ahead and leave a like. And if you have any questions about anything, you want some clarification, or maybe you want to sync up in-game, go ahead and leave a comment down below, and maybe I can add you. We can get a couple of games together. And if you want to see a couple of more videos like this, why don't you go ahead and subscribe? That would really be appreciated. And hopefully this video gets you guys a little bit more prepared for when this inevitably drops on the Xbox. I hope everybody watching sees so many similarities between the Helldivers and the ODSTs. They're pretty much doing all of the same things. And I do find this game is, without a doubt, one of the greatest Halo games in the last 10 years. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.